Adrian with some closing remarks.
The subject of the conference this year was engaging people delivering performance, and it was almost like moving on from last year into a new normal and how we might work and engage people in our organisations in a different time. The whole day has gone very quickly and it's been an eclectic group of sessions. We started with two bankers.
I've got a story about great passion, intrigue, good versus evil. I am a banker.
If it's got a higher return than normal, then you're taking high risk.
Two part-time swimming commentators.
I was #1 butterfly swimmer in the world. That's this one again, just to remind you. The breaststroke, you know, when you get a perm, you keep your hair out of the water. Yeah, we do that one. Olympic champion, world record holder over here on the breaststroke. This one's the man's one, right? This is a tough one.
We heard of a government minister.
In terms of how you put a government together, it's all framed by this very serious economic backdrop. And then against that, you've sort of just got to get people to work together.
Heard from the futurist managing director.
Who here has teenage kids? Hands up. The whole economy is going to behave like your children. Lots of mood swings, lots of stress, lots of experimentation, and a hell of a lot of developing.
An Olympic rower and a Frenchman.
I'm going to explain to you how we can move an organization from an attitude of competition to something a bit more around the lines of collaboration.
How can I help the 21 guys who are going to go and race at the Olympic Games, rather than just the 8 guys who are in my boat, or just myself?
And many other people have contributed.
Can we defend? Can we fight? Are we resilient? Are we tough?
As leaders, are we prepared to really challenge ourselves and look in the mirror rather than looking out of the window?
We've also heard about big events, the Olympic Games.
The opening ceremony kicks everything off. It's a media event, it's a media feast. At that moment in time, I'll be responsible for around 700 broadcasters, broadcasting athletes like you see here with us today, around the world in high definition.
The man responsible for arguably delivering it.
There is that quite exciting, slightly horrifying prospect that when I'm 80, people, whatever else I do for the rest of my life, people will probably remember me for what goes right or wrong over the next 2 years.
Reflection on one of the biggest financial meltdowns in the history of the world.
I was the guy who had to sit down with the people and say, I am awfully sorry, you've got to go. And it really hurts.
These crises typically take some years for us to get over. A new generation will come along and they'll start doing it all over again because they'll believe that, you know, this time it really is different. It never is.
Personal big challenge from Greg.
He's attempting to become the first Olympian in history to win his second gold medal 20 years after he won his first.
But also one of the biggest mobile telecom joint ventures in this country.
We have the logic of collaboration because there's no deal if there's no discussion, no trust, no collaboration.
I'm sure you will have each taken out of it very different things, very different reflections, and hopefully some things that will affect and benefit your organisation and for you personally. And our wish always is that you've managed to build a network, find out a little bit more about the people you're in the room with today, other people in other organisations that can support you going forward. But also you've had a chance to interact with some Lane4 people and got a feel for our organisation and how we do things. We're having drinks, and it's Lane4's 15 year. We've been 15 years in the making, Lane4. It's been a great journey, and I'm pleased that we can have a drink to celebrate that for those of you who can stay. Thank you for giving your time, and here endeth the whole thing. Thank you.